At the end of a hard week, it's great to sit down, take some time off, and watch some football. Game-winning touchdowns on 2-minute drives, running backs racing down the sidelines with no one to stop them. There is nothing else like the NFL, and there's no better way to make the games even more exciting than to bet on them. So do the smart thing. Go to mybookie.ag. No one gives you more ways to win than they do. MyBookie's got the fastest payouts and better lines than any other sportsbook. Don't forget, where you're betting is just as important as who you're betting on, and mybookie.ag is the best in the business. It's where I play and where you should too. If you're the kind of guy that likes to bet a little and win a lot, try a parlay. If all of your bets hit, you can multiply your winnings quite a lot. Join now and MyBookie will double your first deposit. Use promo code CryptoStreet to activate the offer. That's promo code CryptoStreet. Visit mybookie.ag today. You play, you win, you get paid.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the main event.
Let's go.
Round one, fight.
Thank you for tuning in to the Crypto Street Podcast. Here are your hosts, Killer Whale, Prince, and Crypto Dale.
And remember to tip your waitress.
What is good, everybody? Thanks for tuning in. You're listening to none other than the Crypto Street Podcast. Nice day here in the Hawkeye State. Emphasize Hawkeye State. Those that are listening and follow college sports, we had Iowa State game day was there. So Iowa won on a crazy ending. Will, did you see that ending by chance?
No. Is Iowa good this year though?
Yeah, they're ranked they're decent. They're ranked 18th. They're usually pretty well always in the top 20, or not 20, the 20 to 25 range, usually in that. So they're usually decent, but so the end of the game was Iowa was up 18-17 and they punted. Iowa was punting, and Iowa State had their punt returner standing there. He raised his hand for fair catch, and then one of his teammates tackles him, and it hits that guy's back, and then Iowa recovers, and the game's over.
Holy shit.
It was crazy.
Dude, I think that's an underrated thing is having a good punt returner just for any
totally
football team.
Totally.
Like a reliable guy who's not going to botch it or catch it at the one or something like that, you know?
So a huge Bears fan, and when they had Devin Hester, that was a game changer for, they didn't have a good offense. So that was a game changer because he would always have great returns. So he didn't, the offense didn't really have to worry about that stuff. But
that guy was sick. I'm sure you
so
remember
fast.
The Super Bowl versus the Colts, the opening kick?
Yeah. I was going crazy. I'm we're winning this damn thing.
Yep. I was watching with my uncle who's a big Bears fan, and he was going crazy. We all were.
Yeah. So another cool story about the game day. Some kid held up a sign that said Busch Light or need to replenish Busch Light supply, and then he put his Venmo, and he's up to $35,000. Yeah, and what he said was after he got enough to buy a case of beer, he was then he got a couple, and then he got to $3,000, and he was okay, you know what? I'm gonna donate all of this. I'm gonna buy a case of Busch Light, and then I'm gonna donate the rest of it to the University of Iowa Children's Hospital.
Oh.
And yeah, so people caught on to that and donated, and now Busch Light and Venmo both have come out and said that they're going to match whatever the kid raises. So last I had heard it was at $35,000. So that's pretty cool.
Great publicity for those companies too.
Oh, totally. Busch Light, shout out Busch Light. Drink up, folks. You like it. Stop the hate.
And the thing is, it's if you're averse to it, just try it. Because that's how I was. I was Busch Light, but then I actually had it. It's really pretty good.
Yeah, it's not. It's a totally a college beer. I'm not gonna dispute that, but it's not as bad as the hate that it receives.
Exactly. Yeah, it's probably underrated, if anything.
Yeah. Yes. Thank you.
The you know what? People are gonna think we're just shilling it. We're still not sponsored by them somehow, but we should be. I think
We really should.
Not just for this reason, but we've been supporting them for you especially for quite some time.
Yeah.
Okay, so this episode, we're going to keep it a little bit shorter. It's a bit of a slow week news-wise and price-wise, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, but a couple of interesting stories. One of them actually just came out today. Um, Basically, the Department of Justice brought extortion charges against an early advisor to Ethereum and T0. The guy's name is Steven Narayoff, I believe. I was not familiar with this gentleman, but apparently he is fairly well known on CT. Anyway, he was basically, the story goes, he was advising a project, and at some point or other, he essentially held one of the project's managers or investors or something like that, like hostage in a room at her house. I think that's how it goes. Maybe not hostage. I shouldn't put it that forcefully, but and basically threatened to sabotage the project if he didn't get paid X number of money, and I think it was quite a bit of money that he was demanding.
Yeah.
And my takeaway from this, I mean, the whole thing's fucking crazy. Of course, I mean, just shaking somebody down for that much money. It was a woman too, which makes it even worse. But my takeaway was just like, honestly, the biggest thing was like, this guy made so much money advising ICOs. I think like the amount that he got paid was like multiple millions. It was like a 22% of the amount raised. And so he's getting like a quarter of everything they raised, as far as I understand it. And it just kind of reminded me like how freely money was flowing during Altseason.
Yeah.
I mean, these projects were just raising money without doing anything really, no working project, nothing. And then they're just handing it out like crazy too. I think the vast majority of these projects are probably broke at this point, but
yeah. And like to piggyback on what you said, the company, the ICO he was advising, it's called Company One in the article. They raised like 75,000 Ethereum, which around the time was about 32 million, and this dude got 30,000 of them.
Yeah, it's fucking nuts.
And then the following March, he had demanded a 10,000 Ethereum loan from them, which is at the time was about 4.5 million. So it's just unbelievable how he, at a point in, I think this goes for everybody, at a point when you get so much money, I think people just get so greedy. They want more, and they get that thrill of getting all of this money. And if you would just sit back and realize how much money you actually have, if this guy is getting 30,000 Ethereum, like you're pretty much set for life.
Yeah.
Unless you're trying to keep up with the Joneses, like it's just selfish and ignorant.
100%. Yeah. That's the thing. It's not like he was getting stiffed in the first place. I mean, the guy was being paid a ton. So for him to, again, allegedly, I guess, since it's not proven yet, but these are the allegations that we're reading.
Right.
Did you read the bit? I guess this guy had a partner, Michael Hlady, I guess, Hlady is his last name. And this guy was a real Billy Badass, apparently. I think he threatened the lady, saying that he's been shot at and he's killed people and he's quote unquote taken down a head of state before, which seems
I saw that.
bit of a remarkable claim. I mean, I don't know. This guy just sounds like a boob, but don't come after me, Mister, if you do have these powers. But just saying.
I mean, first off, I think if you really took down the head of state for a company, I personally don't think you're going to be telling people this. Said he was also part of the Irish Republican Army. So
Bro,
I don't know,
He claims to have been a part of the Irish Republican Army, the National Security Agency, the Central Intelligence Agency, and the FBI. So the NSA, the CIA, and the FBI, allegedly. Like, it seems preposterous.
Yeah,
Was this guy the most accomplished special ops guy ever?
Yeah. And I suppose wouldn't you think if you had that on your resume, you wouldn't really be dicking around with ICOs? I mean, that would be my thought.
Yeah, I would think so too.
I guess maybe not with how much money they were printing. Maybe that was exactly the place to be.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe. I mean, I guess it was like one of those things where it was just too much to turn down. I mean, we
Yeah.
saw it. Everybody involved saw it. I mean, some of these projects were just raising money for absolutely no reason.
Yeah.
Tons of money too.
Speaking
Um,
of, I was thinking today, I was looking through bookmarks on my computer and I noticed the coin calendar. Do you remember that thing?
not really. Oh, yes, I do. Yeah.
So I just remember during the alt season in 17, you would literally go on that and look like a week out and see what coin had an announcement or planning an announcement, and then you just load your bag for that coin, and it was like a 2-3x guarantee.
Yeah.
It's just insane.
That was incredible, man. I miss those days.
I do too. Just waking up and your portfolio is 1.5x what it was when you went to
Yeah.
bed.
Like every day. Like it was exciting like waking up because you were like literally just making like
Yeah.
thousands of dollars like just sleeping. It's
And
fucking
then last year it's the exact opposite. You're like, I don't want to get up and check my blockfolio.
it's just dread every morning.
Can these things go negative?
I know, yeah. Do I actually owe money at this point? Um,
So funny.
yeah, so despite a somewhat slow news week, I thought that was a very notable story. The other one that I wanted to talk about, and I think we were going to talk about this, or actually we were going to talk about so basically the story is that Binance is adding BNB to their US exchange, which was very unexpected because when they first announced the assets that were being listed, it was nowhere to be found. And people are thinking, oh, this is them kind of tacitly admitting that it is a security because they're not including it. They don't want to risk it. So this was very surprising to see that now they are. I think we were going to talk last week actually about how they weren't going to list it, but the story has changed. So I thought that was interesting. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, it's crazy to me that that they are listing it, but obviously they've got enough funds that that they could afford an attorney, a good attorney that could maybe deem it not a security. But to me, I don't get it. I felt like their whole purpose on banning US customers from Binance.com and is for that sole reason, large in part because of the BNB and the security aspect. So I don't get now why they're trying to do Binance.us if they're going to list BNB anyways. But and one thing I just don't get it at all.
Yeah, it's very peculiar, very unexpected. I think, I guess like the best I can think is that like for optics reasons, like maybe they don't even have the all clear to list it, but they're just being like, well, we're going to list it because we don't think it's a security. And like, I guess they're viewing it like if they didn't, then it's sort of them kind of admitting to themselves that it is. And that doesn't look good for their posturing in future debates about it. Because down the line, 3 months down the line, if it ends up they get sued for it or something, they're going to go, well, look, you didn't list it on the US one. Like you clearly had a feeling that this was a security. And so that's all I can kind of think of. And like you said, they have such deep pockets that, I mean, even if it comes down to like legal action, they can delay and they'll have a good chance of fighting it with all the money they have for attorneys.
Yeah. And, maybe I guess they just wanted to kind of CYA Binance.us at first and just really, maybe that's the reason for branching off is because they have listed some other assets on Binance.com that they probably know are a security or so maybe that's the rationale on breaking off into Binance.us so they don't have to worry about those. And then now this is, like you said, this is them putting BNB on Binance.us and saying, oh, we don't think it's a security. That's not why we, didn't list it at first or whatever the case may be.
Yeah. I think one of like the big narratives going around is like, this is the death knell for Binance and like this is like them opening the US exchange is the beginning of the end. I think that's like way overblown.
Yeah.
I mean, granted like contenders kind of come out of nowhere, but I don't really see anybody else unseating them for now. And I think the thing is too, like, I mean, like some people are kind of talking about this, but you can still use the regular one with a VPN. You know, it's like it's
Right.
the same thing with Mex. It's like, I mean, yeah, clearly Mex quote unquote doesn't allow U.S. users, but a shitload of people in the U.S. still use it. Make no mistake. Um,
And it's going to be just like the whole BitMEX aspect of just use the VPN. But I did see someone tweet that they said, has anyone else experienced if you're trying to do a withdrawal on Binance that you have to do KYC?
yeah, I saw that
I
too.
don't know.
And somebody commented saying like they didn't, but maybe that's on an account by account basis, depending upon what kind of size you're working with.
Yeah, that's true.
I would think that's probably, but I mean, shit. I don't know. um, yeah. Anyway, I don't think Binance is going away anytime soon. And the thing is, too, like, people say like new exchanges come and you know it happens all the time. New ones take the other one's lunch money, but I don't really know if that happens that often. I mean, because so all these exchanges, like, they had this period where they were just going through exponential growth, and that growth kind of killed some of them though, because their support was so terrible or their service was so terrible, the scaling was horrendous. I mean, they weren't fun, they weren't good to use, and that kind of contributed to them dying. But I mean,
Right.
the thing with exchanges is like it's so hard to get a new one off the ground because it's like the chicken and the egg thing with volume, you know, where it's like if you don't have any volume, nobody's going to come trade there, and if nobody comes and trades there, nobody else is going to come and trade there either. So I think it's actually somewhat easy if you play your cards right as an exchange to kind of get the lead and hold it.
And you know, the prime example of that is look at Beaksy, you know, good friends of the show, but that's what they're kind of experiencing now is that whole issue with volume and liquidity and stuff like that.
It's hard. I mean, yeah, and they've done a lot of things right, you know, and it's still very difficult, but I think they'll be okay. But yeah, it's hard to see. Like a couple of them have kind of like gone into death spirals. I think like one is Poloniex, unfortunately, even though it was my favorite back in the day. But it's just almost nobody uses it. I mean, if you look at their active online users, it's like a couple thousand at a given time, I think. And I mean, during the last run, it was consistently like high single digit thousands, 15,000, something like that. And then you have like other ones like, I hate to say it, but like fucking Kraken, like the thing just, it still sucks somehow. Like I don't even know.
So
yeah. They've been around forever. They're not dead. Like they're still living, but I don't know why anybody uses it. Like the UI sucks. The liquidity sucks.
It's terrible. It's
Dude,
absolutely terrible.
And you got to do this stupid shit when you make a withdrawal where you have to like approve a new address and like they send you an email to approve it. But half the time the email doesn't even show up. So you're trying to make a withdrawal and you're just like, well, fuck me, I guess. I guess I'll just sit here refreshing my box. It's fucking terrible. But yeah, I don't know. Who are the other like big up and comers really? I can't really think of any.
Yeah, I don't know who I don't really know of any that have really been around.
Yeah, I don't either. I mean, I think Beaksy is like the best example, you know, but it's going to take some time. So the next topic that I want to talk about is Altseason, which I know is a bit of a dirty word. However, we're definitely seeing some chatter pick up on CT and the internet at large. People asking, wondering if it's back because alts have done pretty well the past week or so. I have some pretty strong thoughts on this, but I'd like to hear what you think first.
Yeah, you know, with me, it having went through 2007, the alt run in 17, I think people just really want. There's two things I think. One, I think people really want to be the person that calls alt season, so they can get their whatever clout and be like, I'm the one that called alt season. And two, and more importantly, I think people are so wrecked right now that they want to believe, you know, and you see some chatters, the people that have been through a couple alt seasons, you know, the more experienced people. And I can't remember who put this tweet out that said they pretty much broke it down by increments of 25%. And they're like 25% increase, not alt season. And then they finally got all the way to 1,000%. And they're like, yeah, maybe alt season. Yeah. So the people that have been around for numerous years like ourselves kind of, know what a real alt season. I shouldn't even say know what a real alt season is, because I know we've had guests on that have said there's been alt seasons that have lasted a year long, and then there's other ones that last maybe a couple weeks. And yeah, we could be in an alt season, but like a true alt season is an extended period of time, not 5-10% increases on these alts, more like 3-digit percentage increases, in my opinion, to 4 digits. So, that's kind of my thought. And I think people just want an alt season. Trust me, I do too, but I'm not going to call it until, I'm able to throw a dart at a dartboard and find an alt and then buy into it. And then it 5Xs in a matter of days. So that's kind of my thoughts on the whole situation. What are yours?
Yeah, I think a lot of that is very true. I agree with pretty much everything you said. I think it's like, the thing is too, have they done well in the past week? Yes, but I mean, it's a week. Like if you look at a higher time frame chart, like I'm looking at the Ethereum chart right now, I think that's a decent proxy for the alt markets as a whole. It's clearly still in a downtrend. I mean, it's definitely leveling off, or it has leveled off. I'd say the past year or so, actually it's been pretty flat for the past year.
Yeah.
But you can't really argue it's in an uptrend. I mean, maybe a short-term one, I guess, if you start like maybe 10 months ago, but it's not really. I mean, it's more just kind of been range bound and flat. So I think everyone's got to cool your jets a little bit on this. And now go figure, this will be the time it's actually legit. But
that's fine. Let them prove us wrong.
Yes, please do. Yeah, I hope we're absolutely completely wrong on this. But
and that's another thing too. I think too, not to interrupt, but people have seen their alt bags and held them. Didn't have stop losses in place and have held them lost 90% of its value, and so they've been bleeding and they've been hit. So to them, when they see a day where their alt doesn't lose value, yeah, they're pretty happy.
Yeah, definitely.
Season, because it didn't go down for a change.
Yeah, very true. I think in terms of like when I could be convinced that it is the beginning of an uptrend, I think you want to see like Ethereum break the highest it's been in the past like 10 months or so, which would be roughly 330 or 350, $350. So I'm just talking USD right now. But so I think if it gets above 350, maybe I'm interested then. But what's interesting to think about that though is like, and that's just kind of the confirmation number for me. And maybe that's not even a confirmation, but that's something where I'm going to go, very interesting. Like maybe we are turning around.
Yeah,
but
and maybe I'm going to check this out, watch this a little closer.
The thing is too, that's like, if you hold it from here, I mean, you'll be up like 70% or something. Almost like 100%. You almost have a double just by that confirmation signal. So that's what's really interesting to think about, is like just the precursor action at this point is going to be like 5, 10, 20 X's before like the real fireworks start. So in my opinion, so that's very interesting. And you very well may miss that, and maybe it's smarter to avoid it and wait for confirmation. But if you are right and you're a little bit early, you can massively boost your returns, I think.
Oh yeah, big time.
Anyway, so fingers crossed. We hope it is back, but let's not go running and buying new clothes yet.
It's definitely been a nice change of pace. I will definitely say that, seeing stuff in the green and not.
I mean, can we safely say alts have bottomed? Do you think, at least?
Say that again. Sorry.
Can we safely say that they've bottomed, at least?
Oh boy.
I'm scared to answer, but I think so.
I am too. One that I like to look at a lot and that I follow pretty close, and everyone that follows me knows, is Ardor. That's and that made new lows this cycle, and it's kind of had that strong support right at the 550, 550 sats. But I think and hope that one's bottomed out. But Some of them have. Some of them deserve to be at 0. Let's just say that. Some of them, the true working product ones, I'm calling. Fuck it, I'm calling it. Bottom has been in. Mark the calendar. What's the day? The 18th of September. Major alts bottom is in. Some of them are not. Still need to be 0. And if you call me out on a month and say they're lower, I'm just going to say, well, that one deserved to be a 0. So
It's a shit coin.
Total shit.
But I think so, though. I mean, the charts have been pretty flat for like a year, to be honest. I mean, that's quite some time to like establish a base. I mean, think about it this way: like, who has been holding this entire time and still hasn't sold yet? That's just going to be like, fuck, and like just rapidly sell everything they have. I don't think there are very many of those people left. Maybe some, but not enough to trigger like a massive red candle where everybody else goes, oh shit, I got to sell whatever I have now too.
Good point.
But anyway, yeah. So fingers crossed. We hope it is. But let's chill for now. The next thing we're gonna do. Do you want to do this like word association?
Yeah, let's do that, and then we will give an update on the fantasy football.
Okay.
And then we'll wrap up.
Perfect. Okay, so what we're gonna do. I don't think we've ever done this before, but it should be pretty fun. It's just gonna be real short, where it can be crypto, non-crypto. I'll say a word, and Dale has to say the first thing that comes to mind, and then he'll do a couple for me. So I'm going to start it off. I have one that I am very curious to hear your reaction to.
Oh God.
So my first word for you is Mitch Trubisky.
Death. not
that bad.
Not him personally, but I think he's a good person. Rex Grossman would be, honestly, God, what first comes to mind is Rex Grossman, because he had the same comparable defense that Mitch has now, and he is about the same comparable skills-wise as Mitch.
That's a tough comp.
Oh, man. That's funny you say that, because, a big Bears fan. Towards the end of last year, I thought that Mitch could be that guy to, not going to be like an Aaron Rodgers, but more like
an Alex Smith, like don't make too many mistakes.
Yeah, exactly. Don't make mistakes. Score enough for your team to win, kind of guy like that. But okay,
yeah, that's the thing. I mean,
funny
that's so good. It's like you just gotta not screw up on offense.
It's ridiculous. So mine for you is Mark Sanchez.
Oh God. Fuck. I can't think of a word bad enough. I don't think.
I got one for you.
I'll go depressed or something. Oh God. Yeah, that's a good one actually. Sanchez was like good guy, I don't want to like crap on his character or anything.
Another good guy like Mitch.
A terrible quarterback. And the thing is, you hear some of these arguments from like Jets fans like, whoa, he took us to 2 AFC championship games. And like, okay, easy there. For two things. Okay. That year or those years, the Jets had one of the best defenses in the league each year and one of the best running games in the league each year. Yeah. And so they made it to those games despite him, not because of him. I mean, what sucks is like he got hit a lot early in his career, and he developed these happy feet in the pocket where he never ever looked comfortable. Like he was hearing footsteps constantly, and I just think his confidence was shaken, and he never really recovered from that. But wish him all the best. I think he's actually like still in the league or something, isn't he?
I think he got cut, and I think I've seen him announcing somewhere.
Oh, I think he'd be pretty good at that. Well spoken.
Yeah. Well spoken. He, listening to him, he knows the game.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he was a good guy. Had a good career at USC.
Yeah.
So.
I guess he was on the Redskins in 2018, but not on a team anymore. Alrighty. Next one for you. This one I don't know. The first one I knew for sure I was gonna say, but I'll go Ripple.
It's funny. God, this is just so funny, and I hope Ledger's not listening. But
did you buy it?
I actually put some bids in today to buy it.
No.
I don't know if they've filled. this will be the first time I've ever bought it since the conference thing, where I told Ledger I'd never buy it again. So I haven't
In your life.
bought it. I haven't bought it. The bids haven't been filled.
Oh,
So, but I thought it looked pretty good. I thought it has room to go. I was hoping that my bid on the fib levels was going to hit, but I don't think it has yet. So, but other than that, total shit coin, scam coin, hate it. But you know what I don't hate is making money. So I think it is gonna go a little bit. So that's where I'm at with that fucking thing.
good shit. You made a great point too, where it's like it doesn't have to have a real world use case for it to 100x. In fact, most of the things that do not have any use case.
Yeah.
So
that's like 90% of these alts now.
Yeah.
Gonna solve world hunger, but they don't know how. But that's
yeah, exactly.
so.
All
right,
right.
so mine for you. The next alt run, okay, keep that in mind.
Mm-hmm.
What's going to be the next Bitcoin? And I know the answer.
Well, you mean like the one that kind of picks up steam where people think it's going to overtake Bitcoin?
Yep.
Like Ethereum was the first one? You know what? I think I might say Ethereum again.
Really?
I think so. Yeah.
I thought you were going to say Tezos.
Yeah. Yeah. I got to. Yeah, maybe, but I just think, I mean, it has a long way to go to challenge like Bitcoin's market cap. But well, you know what's crazy? I'm looking at the market caps right now. Like, remember the whole like the flippening thing and how close it actually got? It was really close to taking it over, and now
Really
like
close.
yeah, and now Bitcoin's market cap is 182 million or billion, and Ethereum's is 22 billion. So it's way far away.
That's just crazy to think about that it about flipped. And
Yeah.
Now where it's at now.
I would say dark horse candidates, pick a privacy coin, I would say, because they have a lot of the same use cases as Bitcoin, but a little bit more effective due to privacy. So I think something like Monero or a similar privacy coin could take off also.
Perfect. I would agree with you. So, all right. So now we'll kind of just give everyone an update. People don't know we have our second year doing Crypto Street Podcast Fantasy League. Killer, Prince, and myself all are in separate leagues. So there's 12 team leagues. Geez. And then the winners of each league play each other, quote unquote, play each other, just total points the last 2 weeks, and then they're deemed the Zelcore champion of the world. For those that don't know, Zelcore and Zel's the only blockchain and cryptocurrency platform you need. Holds over 20,000 assets in one location and trades seamlessly with Zelcore Plus. Check them out at Zel.network. So they're playing for that. It's pretty fun. Again, we do a live draft online per se, banter back and forth, but we're just gonna kind of give everybody an update of where it is, because I know we've gotten some tweets from people wanting, they like to hear and play along, and the guys that are in it are all good dudes, and they like to hear their name get called on the podcast, even those people might not know who they are. So in the Block Party League, which is my league, just heads up, Block Party leverages digital identity, blockchain, and smart contract technology to bring transparency, security, fairness to the ticketing process for event creators and attendees. Find them, check them out, go blockparty.com. That is my league. I am 1-1, about the middle of the pack of points, and I have just made probably the trade of the year for anyone listening. I traded John Ross for Joe Mixon. Somehow got that deal done.
That's a really fucking good trade.
I know. I got Joe Mixon. I just thought the guy that I traded to was heavy at running backs, needed a receiver. I thought, with John Ross starting off hot, this is prime candidate for a breakout year. I'm offering.
Yeah, that's a robbery, like straight up.
Yeah, I thought. I mean,
good shit.
Made his team better, I think. Maybe not. Definitely made mine better. So who is leading my league is A Chill. He's 2-0, scored 254.9 points. Trying to look here. I didn't have it up. Hold on one second to see where he's at amongst the entire league. He is actually second in points overall. So good for him. And then in the Ardor League, Ardor is a platform for business and blockchain developers, provide quick, easy, cost-effective, and scalable ways to use the blockchain. This is Wales League. Charlie Ponzi is 95.5 points, which is crazy to think. Wanted to give a shout out to Dynasty, who is 1-1, and he scored 274.4 points, and that would be good enough for like second or third overall, I believe. So
Yeah, his victim this week, ya boy.
did he just smoke you or what?
Well, it was pretty close. I mean, he won 132 to 113. And so,
Oh,
I mean, I didn't have a great week, but it wasn't terrible, but he just had a really good one. My team sucks. I'm very salty. I'm 0-2. I scored like 70 points the first week. Cam Newton, figure your foot out. This no running thing is no bueno.
he's my quarterback too, in this
It's
league.
been brutal.
Just bad. And we're trying. It's funny in the Telegram chat where everyone's just sitting there trying to make trades, and it's really fun. It helps pass time, that's for sure.
I think that's my favorite part of the whole thing is just that chat lighting up again. And it's like every Sunday or even Thursday and Monday, people are constantly discussing the games and there's humor and it's a good bunch of guys too.
It is, and it's very knowledgeable guys, because I know in some of my other leagues, I'm always in there asking questions, okay, who would you guys start? What are you thinking here? And, and Dynasty, Crutches, those guys are all very knowledgeable and fun to talk with. So shout out to those guys. So Last league, it's the OhioBitcoin.com league. OhioBitcoin.com is a crypto market capitalization price index website. They've got the same tools as all the other ones, CoinMarketCap, all that stuff, but their data is real time. GTmetrics.com gave them an A. Check them out, OhioBitcoin.com. And I know I wish he was here, but he's a little under the weather, so get better, Prince. But you are actually in first place. I shouldn't say actually, because now he's going to call me on that. But you're in first place, 2-0. You've scored the most points out of all three leagues, 280.8 points. Your team is good. I don't know what else to say.
It is. Killed it in the draft this year. Yeah. I think he made one of the first trades too, didn't he? I mean, he's been like wheeling and dealing.
Oh man, the guy. Yeah, he literally, I think it was draft night or the next day he made a trade already.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So good on you.
People in my league are too smart. I can't accomplish any good trades. It just everything gets rejected.
Wish I could, or I'm glad I can't say the same for my league.
That Joe Mixon trade is a doozy.
Someone in my league, I don't remember who it was, messaged me and is like, well, congrats on just winning the league.
Oh,
so
wow.
That's
You just might. I mean, but you got a squad.
Yeah, it's pretty solid. I had Antonio Brown and I traded him for Odell when that news came out about the sexual harassment. And actually, if I wouldn't have traded him, I'd have lost last week. So,
because Odell lit it up, right? Or wait, no, that's
like 25 points.
Oh, yeah. Sweet.
Well, cool. Well, we'll get you updated. Apologize for not having our crypto altcoin draft update. I did check it yesterday, and the order was the same. Prince was in first, I was in second, and you were in third. But I don't remember exact. I know Prince and I were close. You were not so close, but that's all right. There's a couple months left in the year, so hey, at least you're not in last place in the fantasy football league.
Not anymore, at least.
Not anymore.
I was after the first one.
It's all right. It's a long season. It's a marathon, not a sprint race.
Yep.
Well, thanks everyone for listening. That's all we got for tonight. Again, appreciate everyone listening. Check us out, Crypto on Twitter, Crypto Street Pod, and then our website, CryptoStreetStore.com. Have some merchandise out there. Check that out. Hootskis with the boys. Tip your waitress. Take care, guys. Hopefully next week when we talk, we're rich. Take care. See you, killer.
Later, man.